Hello, and welcome to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a sniper perk guide. I've done one for pretty much all of the classes except for sniper and heavy, so we are going to get straight into it now. Starting off with the first perk, we have melee mastery. Melee damage increases by 20% against majority level and higher enemies. The reason why we go for this is because, well, most of the perks in this, column is pretty shit. This is, in my opinion, the only good one. And extra melee damage is always good, and we're gonna be going for shadow step damage, and she's gonna do a lot more damage. Block break, short to penetrate enemy block stances, dealing 50% of the usual damage is shit. Like, in my opinion, the fact that when an enemy is in a block stance, just negates all your damage is pretty stupid. In my opinion, I feel like that should not be a thing in this game, but hey, it is. So yeah, and majority of the enemies, they don't block anyways. You only have Tyranid bone sword warriors that block, which is still annoying, but I feel like they don't block. There's not a whole lot of enemies that block, so I wouldn't go for this. And you also have Medicae adapt. You revive squad members 30% faster. I don't need to explain this. This is just shit. Now on to the next one. We have high capacity. The maximum amount of ammo you can carry increases by 10%. Having more ammo on the sniper is always great. The sniper is known for not having a whole lot of ammo, so this is going to help you in the long run. And we are going to be using the last fusel rate of fire, so we're going to need that ammo. You also have vantage point. Remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your ranged weapons damage by 20%. Now remaining stationary can be a problem because we're gonna have a lot of minority enemies, ranged people trying to attack you. So it's kind of hard to remain stationary for 2 seconds. The only way you're going to remain stationary is if you use camo cloak. But you already have a perk that already one-shot enemies, so I feel like it's kind of a waste to go for vantage point. You also have adaptability. Reloading while having low ammo or manually activating camo cloak increases melee damage by 25% for 10 seconds. If you want to use this for shadow step damage, you could also use it. However, I just go for the high capacity. Now this one kind of varies. It depends on if you are going to use purification or not. You have marksmanship. Headshot damage increases by 10% for all squad members. You have weapon spread is reduced by 25%, and range damage against extremist level enemies is increased by 15% for all squad members. This is just not worth it. Like, this is precision targeting is the weakest one out of them all. And then you have squad renewal. A headshot kill restores ability charge by 10% for any squad member. Now, I currently have this because I was doing a build, but if you are going to use purification, then I would go for squad renewal, mainly because you want to kind of recharge your camo cloak as much as possible, because purification is pretty much like a Medicae stain. Pretty much it manually activating camo cloak removes negative status effects and restores all contested health. This perk is absolutely amazing, hands down. You should be using this perk. It's like, if you don't use this, what are you doing? So this is why you want to go for purification. And then while you are just in camo cloak, you got your contested health. You can just quickly get a kill, and that's going to restore 10% of your ability charge. It can help. And then again, I feel like most people should be hitting headshots anyways with whatever class you're playing. And yeah, that might help, especially if you have like a tactical on your team. They can you can pretty much restore all specs really quickly, and it's just gonna make your life 10 times easier. So you could also go for squadron. I would go for these two depending on what your taste is, but I would go for sword renewal. And obviously purification, you want to go for this one. There's no debate. You've got efficient readiness. Camo cloak increases movement speed by 20%, and manually activating camo cloak automatically reloads ranged weapons. And I feel like this is just like another pointless weapon, because the last fusel is the best sniper weapon in the game, which, by the way, you don't have to reload that. So I feel like you're already at a disadvantage going with this perk. And increasing your movement speed by 20% isn't going to help you at all, because the enemies aren't going to be going near you when you're in camo cloak. So this is just a pointless perk to have. And then you have renewal. A headshot kill restores camo cloak's charge by 15%. There's really no point in going for that if you are going to use squad renewal, and you're going to miss out on purification, which in my opinion you are pretty much shooting yourself in the leg if you don't go for purification, because not only does it give you contested health, it also helps you with enemies. You can just quickly shoot the enemy wherever you got minor swarms coming at you. Camo cloak, you get your contested health, and not only that, the enemies go to your teammates and you can just take out a majority enemy and bang, minority enemies or some of them are gone. So yeah, your Guardian protocol: when you are reviving a squad member, Camera Cloak hides you and the squad member for 5 seconds without spending charge. Cooldown is 30 seconds. Now in my opinion, this is also the worst one in this column, because like, how often do your teammates go down in whatever like difficulty you're gonna play, and it only hides you for 5 seconds. And it kind of, let's say if you are playing right within a teammate or teammates, you're gonna kind of fuck up your own teammate, right? Because while you're both in Camera Cloak, all the enemies are gonna solely focus on him, so we're just kind of making it harder for them. Hence why I would not go for this one. I would go for one of these two. You got targeted shots. The first range attack that breaks Camera Cloak deals 75% more damage. You can one-shot enemies, by the way, if you aim for the head. So you could one-shot enemies, or you could just put them in the execution phase, but most of the time you should be able to immediately just finish them. Or you go for tactical ambush. The first melee attack that breaks Camera Cloak deals 150% more damage, and not only that, you also have melee mastery, which increases it. So you're going to be doing a shit ton of damage. The only reason you should be going for these two is if you're going to be running a perk in the combat knife tech tree called Shadow Stab. Replace heavy swing with Shadow Stab. Hold the attack button to charge it. Damage increases by 200% per 1 second of charging. So pretty much what you want to do, you just want to hold R1, right? Your guy's going to do some little thing, right? The knife's going to be like lower beside him, and your knife is pretty much going to glow like yellow, like white-ish, like I don't know how to explain it, right? But it's gonna like glow, and pretty much it's gonna have 2 charges. It's gonna glow once and then twice. You want to wait for the second strike unless you kind of have to go for the first one, and you are going to deal a shit ton of damage. The perfect time to use this is, like, for example, the Neurothrope. When the Neurothrope is doing that little bubble attack and you're in the bubble, just literally Camera Cloak, hold R1, and then just wait for your knife to be charged twice, and watch the health just drop. And it's going to be even more helpful if you have a tactical with the tactical perks, which I made a video on the best tactical perks. You can check out if you want to. And it just deals a shit ton of damage to bosses. It's going to be kind of harder for you to do it against a Carnivex, because for the Carnivex you kind of have to like wait for the Carnivex to hit something and then you can do it. But against the Neurothrope it's pretty easy. But it's really up to you. And then we have resistance. When Camera Cloak deactivates, you take 20% less health damage. Do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. But we're always going to be using Camera Cloak, and we're always going to deactivate it. So that's why we go for that one. And just taking less health is be crucial, because Sniper only has 2 armor segments, so you're kind of more prone to losing more health, and you cannot be knocked back. So it's even better. You have lingering concealment. After performing an attack that breaks Camera Cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. I mean, again, I feel like what's the whole point of Camera Cloak if it's, you know what I mean? And then you have ambush. When Camera Cloak deactivates, it startles nearby enemies. They will temporarily lose control or get knocked back. Cooldown is 25 seconds. I've never actually used this perk, so I don't know if it's good or not, but in my opinion, this is probably the best one. And then for the signature one, we have after a perfectly timed dodge, Camera Cloak automatically activates without spending a charge for 5 seconds. Cooldown is 30 seconds. I mean, if you're good at dodging, I guess it might help you. And if you are gonna use, for example, target shot, it might help you in the long run. Just quickly, just perfectly dodge enemy, Camera Cloak, shoot an enemy, and then go back in Camera Cloak and then shoot an enemy, and then bang, you just take out 2 enemies like that. Emergency override. When you receive lethal damage, Camera Cloak automatically activates without spending a charge, and you become invulnerable for 5 seconds. Cooldown is 180 seconds. This is just shit in my opinion, because again, like most of the time when you are in danger, like you are going to use purification, and that's going to get you your contested health back, and you're going to become invulnerable to damage. So having this is shit. And for you to become invulnerable for 5 seconds, and the cooldown is 180 seconds for 3 minutes, that is shit. You're going to be waiting 3 minutes just for a 5-second perk. That is absolute dog shit. Do not go for this one, please. In my opinion, the one I would go for is Pattern of Excellence. Performing 3 consecutive headshots restores the equipment charge by 1. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This is why I just want to, plain and simple, go for this one. You know, it's especially helpful if you have like a melter bomb. Just use your melter bomb, bang, enemies are down. There's more enemies at the back. Perform 3 consecutive headshots, and there you go. Your melter bomb is now there. And then you wait 30 seconds, you can just do it again and again and again. It's just a very nice perk to have. You know, perks where you're able to gain your equipment charge. It's very nice. You know, for example, like tacticals. What it was called? Secure stockpile is just amazing. Hence why a lot of people use it. Now, when it comes to the perk, I think there's a perk that's plain and simple. You have to go for this one. It's versatile precision. Performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 15% of your primary weapon's ammo. Cooldown is 15 seconds. Again, you know, sniper ammo economy is not great. Hence why you want to go for versatile precision. And gaining ammo is always good. And the cooldown is only 15 seconds, so it is not too long. And then we have did I go for Indomitable Spirit? No, I went after a gun strike. You deal 20% more range damage for 10 seconds. I feel like, you know, gun strike's always common. Dealing 20% more range damage is always good, especially for a rate of fire build, right? Where you're gonna be shoot. You should deal a lot of damage within those 10 seconds. So you want to go for that one. I think I went for Conviction as well. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 15 seconds. And I'm pretty sure for the last one I did go for Emperor's Grace. When Camo Cloak deactivates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. Just nice to have. You know, it's only 2 seconds, and I kind of did say, you know, what's the point in having these perks when you're, you know, you have Camo Cloak, but I just feel like, you know, the perks here really aren't that great. You know, Indomitable Spirit is pretty decent, but I feel like with Camo Cloak, they're kind of always going to be at the back. You know, like, I feel like you're not really going to be, you know, lose control of, you know, against heavy hits. And you kind of do already have a perk in this one, Assistance. And again, you're always going to be using Camo Cloak, so hence why I don't think you really need it. But again, if you are someone who's, you know, let's say your timing isn't great and kind of want it, then you could go for Indomitable Spirit, and you can probably get rid of, I don't know, maybe Exacting Focus or Conviction. But that is what I went. That's what I went for. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree with my choice. Let me know what your favorite perk is in the sniper build. You know, maybe some of you guys are still doing your prestige run, and I'm sorry to tell you, but this is probably the worst class to prestige because it is the most boring class in the game currently. And that's just facts. This class is literally boring. Hence why I don't make a whole lot of videos on sniper, because in my opinion, it's just not a very fun class. But anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I am out. Peace.